Give me what I want. Give me what I want. You know what I want. Give me what I want, or I'm going to continue to hurt people you love. Give me what I want. Give me what I want. You know what I want. You just don't want to give it to me. Give it to me. Give me what I want.
We're going to give you what you want.
That's not what I want.
Greetings. Hope we are having a good night. This is Sports Mayhem episode 2, where I do sports show, weekly recap on all sports related stuff. This is AWA presenting you laying the SmackDown Sports and Wrestling channel. And for this is not wrestling, this is all sports. A lot of things to talk about in this episode of Sports Mayhem 2. But before we get into some of the main topics, do me a favor. Like, share, subscribe if you're into sports and if you're into wrestling. This is the channel for you. Okay? Please. This is the channel for you. This is a late episode. But I'm going to talk about some stuff, okay? So, NBA season is coming to an end with the playing games. I'll do a preview on that. Playing games, we'll give a predictions, stuff like that. But the NBA playoff season prediction stream of mine that I created will be Friday. That's going to be a stream where we go over the playoffs after the 7th and 8th team of each conference is decided. Okay? So yeah, Friday for the predictions stream of NBA. NHL one will be soon, maybe over the weekend. With the NHL season still going on to Thursday or Friday is the last game for the NHL. And we'll talk about who should be MVP of the NBA. Jokic, Embiid, or Tabuko, Giannis. We're going to talk about Lamar Jackson. Is he going to leave Baltimore or is he going to stay? What does Odell Beckam Jr. starting with Baltimore have? Does that change anything there? What is going on with Aaron Rodgers? Why has it been so quiet? We'll go over Rudy Goberyt suspended for the playing game against the Lakers. Why that's a big loss and why I think Minnesota will probably not win. We'll talk about Dallas Mavericks being investigated for tanking. We'll talk about some coaching changes in the NBA. Dwayne Casey steps down as coaching the Detroit Pistons. We'll move on to the front office role. Paul Silas Jr. is no longer the coach of the Rockets. We'll talk about that and more. And John Rahm as well. Masters. I don't really watch the Masters, but whatever. I just know he won the Masters. He gets the green jacket. The Masters is the biggest golfing tournament. But okay. So let's get on with the show. Please also make sure to like, share, and subscribe, please. Sorry, I have to reply to something. Okay, here we go. Please. For me. Okay. Let's get some of the football stuff out of the way. Okay? Let's get the football stuff out of the way. And then we'll look at the baseball. And then we'll talk basketball. Okay. Okay, let's do this. So Lamar Jackson still has not signed back with Baltimore or signed an offer sheet with some other team, right? And you know this is going back and forth between Lamar Jackson and Baltimore. They can't agree to some deal. Lamar Jackson thinks he's worth more than Baltimore obviously thinks. And other teams obviously think of him. We're not willing to give up first-round picks to sign an offer sheet. And Baltimore is not willing to give him the money that he rightfully thinks he deserves, right? So there's an impasse there, right? So there's two options for Lamar Jackson, really, I think. And there's really three options, but the third option, I don't think it's going to happen. The third option, and I don't think he's not going to sign an offer to another team, okay? He's not going to sign an offer to another team. Another team is not willing to give up draft picks for him. I don't think that's happening. I'm going to do one more thing. I'll share this out. Okay? I'm just saying, I don't think a team is willing to give up first rounders for Lamar Jackson in offer sheet. May get traded, maybe a trade, most likely, but I don't see it happening. But the two other options I see that most likely would happen with Lamar is that he would most likely end up resigning with Baltimore or holding out, meaning he won't show up to practice. He may not play in preseason. He not may play in the season until he gets a new contract. I'm sorry, man. Right? Is my mic okay? Is it? Hello? Just a minute. Is it okay now? I hope it's better now. Or maybe it is plugged in. Okay. 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 Thank you. Just excuse me. So now the question is, now with Odell Beckam Jr. signing with Baltimore, does this change the Lamar Jackson decision to come back to Baltimore and take a deal whatever they're offering him? I'm going to say no. Because this is not really about talent, okay? His deal is not really about talent around him. Yes, Baltimore need to get him more talent around him, especially in the receiving core. That's a fact. And Beckam, if healthy, if he recovers from the ACL injury that he had in the Super Bowl a year ago, not this Super Bowl, definitely would help him. But It's never about with his contract's not about the team. It's about what he thinks he's worth on open free agent market. He's looking. Here's the thing. He has no agent, so he doesn't have an agency or an agent representing him, right? So he's his own agent, right? That may be hindering him. That may be hurt him. But he's looking at the other market of some of the other top quarterbacks in the NFL got, and some of them haven't even accomplished half of what Lamar Jackson does. Kyle Murray is getting a huge contract, and Kyle Murray is just an average quarterback right now. Deshaun Watson has only played like 5 or 6 games in a year and a half. He's getting a large contract. Daniel Jones, 1 good year, is getting a big contract. He's seeing the market for these quarterbacks. Geno Smith, been in the league 10 years. 1 good year, all of a sudden he's getting a large contract. He's seeing this market for NFL players, the quarterback market, and seeing these players, I won an MVP award. I've been to Pro Bowls. I've been to playoffs. But he's seeing some of his quarterbacks that haven't accomplished that much getting more money than him, or getting more money than him that don't deserve it, and he's feeling that he's being cheap. They're feeling he's being shortchanged here. Not cheap, but shortchanged. That the Ravens are being cheap with him. Maybe it's because they're worried about, I don't know, he's not be able to finish the season last 2 years. But he's an elite quarterback. I know he hasn't done much in the playoffs. He hasn't really done that much in the playoffs. But he's done more than Kyle Murray in the playoffs. He's done more than Deshaun Watson in the playoffs. Geno Smith. Daniel Jones. Yeah, I think Daniel Jones. He's done more than stuff than some of the quarterbacks are getting paid really, really well in the playoffs. Okay? Joe Burrows came in 2 or 3 years after him. He's better than Lamar Jackson. So he should be getting paid more than Lamar. But Kyle Murray, Daniel Jones came in the same year. Okay? Okay? 1 good year. 1 good year. That was, 1 good year. That's all. So the signing of Odell back, I don't think it changes anything. Personally, I don't think it really changes anything with Lamar Jackson, because this is more about what he feels he's worth, not about putting a team around him. Okay? But yeah, the Odell Beckham signing, it's not going to change anything, okay? Not that much. With him. And I don't know what's going on with Aaron Rodgers, so I think, like I said, I am doing an NFL mock draft April 27th watch along. It might be a long watch along, but you're all free to join. We could talk about other stuff on that stream. It doesn't have to be sports related, but we could talk on that stream, because this can be a long stream, and you're all free to join me to help me not get bored. I am gonna post in the comments to let you know who's all got drafted, which team drafted this guy, to let you all know, to keep you updated. Okay? But that's April 27th. It's a long way off, man. Long way off. So don't worry about that, guys. Don't worry about that. Let's see. Let's move on from football. Aaron Rodgers stuff, I just think he's going to get traded at the draft. Baseball, we're just going to look at the standings. Yes, I know Tampa Bay's won 10 in a row, but look who they face. A bunch of crappy teams. Baseball, we got so far some pretty significant injuries from some pretty well-known players. Okay? O'Neal Cruz of Pittsburgh's out in a collision with the home plate catcher of Chicago, the backup catcher. That's a pretty big loss for Pittsburgh. I know Pittsburgh's not going anywhere, but they feel O'Neal Cruz could be like the superstar, the next franchise player. It's a big loss. Yankees lost Josh Donaldson for some certain amount. Don't know when, how much, how long. But Boston Red Sox, unfortunately, after the hot start, Adam Duvall, who's having a scorching hot start with Boston, is out now. He's been put on the 10-day injury list, but they feel it'll be a longer injury. He fractured his wrist, so they feel it'll be a longer injury than a typical 10-day recovery. Some pretty significant injuries in baseball already. Ready. It's early, but there's some big injuries. And yeah, the standings in the MLB it's early. It's really, really early right now. Tampa Bay is like the best team, but they really have not faced a lot of good teams. They beat the Red Sox, but I think the Red Sox are a decent team, but I don't think they're a good team. If you really look at the standings right now, Cleveland is doing well in the AL Central, but I think they lost Tristan McKenzie, who's a very good young pitcher. Minnesota's doing really well. Chicago, the teams in the Central that are supposed to do well are doing well, except for Chicago. They're a game under 500, but I expect them to bounce back. Kansas City and Detroit are doing terrible. Okay, they're two bad teams. In the East, yeah, Tampa is doing really, really well. I guess everybody picked the Yankees to win the division, but New York and Toronto are doing well. Baltimore and Boston are 500. And the East is going to be a dogfight, I can tell you that. In the West, Texas, yeah, I'm not surprised. There might be a 500 team. Los Angeles is having a decent start, but they lost the series to Toronto. Houston's off to a typical non-Houston start, 5-6. I'm not worried about them. Seattle's not off to a good start, and Oakland is one of the worst teams in baseball, so they're off to a terrible start, obviously. In Milwaukee's having a really, really good start. I'm just not a believer in Milwaukee, but they're having a great start. Pittsburgh, surprising team. Surprising. The Pittsburgh Pirates surprised everybody. They're 2 games over 500. I don't expect them to last because it's really, really early. I don't expect them to last. The Cubs, I think the Cubs might be a borderline 500 team, but they're doing really well at 5-4. Cincinnati is under 500. I think that them and Pittsburgh might be the worst team in the Central. It's early. St. Louis is not off to a good start. 3-7. They should be better than that, obviously. It's still early, guys. It's still early. Atlanta is doing really well in the East, obviously. The Mets are one game over 500. Philadelphia is suffering because they do have 2 major injuries. Reese Hopkins is gone for the year, and he's a free agent. And Bryce Harper may not come back to mid-season. And they're 4-6. They're hanging around. If they can hang around and get at least Harper back, they might be formidable in the NL East. Miami is 3 games under 500. I feel like they're better than that, but it's still really early. Washington is 3-7. Yeah, they're terrible. Might be the worst team in the National League. Arizona is doing really well. Arizona is a sleeper team. This is the West, National League West. Arizona is a sleeper team. Don't think they're better than San Diego and LA. San Diego is doing its game over 500. LA is at 500. I think LA is a little worse, but they're still dangerous. Colorado is not going to be good. San Francisco, I don't think they'll be good. But so, like I said, guys, it's extremely early in the baseball season. Like I heard on High Heat today, you can't win in the postseason. You can't win in the postseason now. You can't win the race to make the playoffs now, but in April. But you certainly can lose it. What people mean by that is that if you're off to a bad start, there's a good chance you may not be able to recover. And if you're off to a good start, there's a chance you may fall back down to earth. Okay? Like some of these teams, like Pittsburgh, they're definitely going to fall back down to earth. The Pirates, they're definitely going to fall back down to earth. They're not 6-4, okay? Caliber talent. So that's early MLB stuff. There's been some pitch clock violations, some batter violations, confusion. But it's really early in baseball. No, there's no real news, going around. Aaron Judge has 4 home runs. Bichette and Vladimir Guerrero are hitting well. Matt Chapman, the Blue Jays, won Player of the Week. He's hitting like over 400, 2 home runs and 14 RBIs. I don't know where he's hitting like 500 actually. But yeah, now we're going to talk basketball. Okay, We're going to talk a lot of shit about basketball. There's a lot of stuff about basketball we're going to talk about. Basketball is the main topic of this stream because we are at the end of the season and we're getting ready for the play-ins and for the playoffs. So we're going to talk basketball. Okay? And I think we're going to talk about coaches first. As I know, Paul Silas. What else? Did anybody else besides Paul Silas and Dwayne Crazy end up leaving as coaches? Let me check. Okay. So only two so far. Okay? Only two coaches so far have left their respective franchise coaching vacancy as a coach. Two. And feel free to come on if you're into sports, okay? If you're not into sports, you might get confused and stuff. But if you're into sports, feel free to come on. George, if you're still there, feel free to come on. Blyden, Anthony, whatever, feel free to come on, please. We're going to talk sports. The invitation is out, okay? Okay. So, Dwayne Crazy is out of Detroit. As the head coach. Okay, we're just talking basketball. Okay. Game Mike. Why is this? Why? Okay. So we'll wait for George to come on. We're talking basketball. Okay. Okay. Just check yourself in, guys, real quick. Hey, George, what's up?
Hey.
Yeah. You have allergies coming in?
Yeah.
Getting over it. What's up? So we're gonna talk NBA. We'll end at 12. We'll go 20 minutes. We'll try our best in 20 minutes.
Yeah, I was gonna say I only got like really 20 minutes.
So let's do predictions. Okay, we got the playing games tomorrow. We got the first one. I gotta look at this. I gotta look it up. Atlanta and Miami. Okay. Minnesota and Lakers. Who do you have? I have Miami being Atlanta. I have the Lakers being Minnesota because I feel the Heat are the better team, and Los Angeles Lakers are the better team in Minnesota. And I think losing Rudy Goberyt kind of hurts. So for tomorrow's games, I have the Heat and the Lakers. For Wednesday's game, I have the Bulls over the Raptors and the Pelicans over the Thunder. But I have going advancing the 7th, 8th seed in the West, the Lakers. I have the Lakers being one the 7th or 8th seed, and the Pelicans as being the 7th, 8th seed. In the East, I have the Bulls and the Heat as the 7th, 8th seed. Who do you have seeing be the 7th, 8th seed in each conference?
Okay, so I agree with you on tomorrow's picks. I think it's gonna be Miami and the Lakers. I can see the Bulls being the Raptors. The on the other night, what's the other one? New Orleans versus
Thunder
the
and
Thunder.
Pelicans.
That's a tough one.
It
Because
is a tough one.
with that Pelicans Thunder game, I'll go Pelicans. So again,
You don't have Zion, right? So
yeah. I'll pick Bulls over the Hawks just because I think they got more star power.
the Heat over the Hawks.
Yeah, so the Heat I think will beat the Hawks.
Yeah,
and because I think the Hawks have to play the Bulls for that 8th seed. So I can see the Bulls being the Hawks. I think I can see. The thing is, I don't know what kind of Minnesota Timberwolves you're gonna get for that last play-in game because they are very dysfunctional right now.
Yeah, and
like one guy apparently punched a wall and broke his hand.
Yeah, and Goberyt got suspended for that. They suspended him today. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about it after this. Actually, that's why I think. I mean, I probably would have picked the Lakers, even those two are healthy. I think still the Lakers are the better team because they
Oh,
have been good since the deadline editions.
the
One of
Lakers
the
have been
best
very
teams.
good.
Yeah.
They've been very good. Listen. I'm gonna say this. Don't be surprised if the Lakers beat the Grizzlies in the first round.
No, I'm not. I don't think there's gonna be much up. I don't think there's any potential upsets in the first round in the West. I mean, I'm not sold on the Nuggets.
Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not sold on the Memphis Grizzlies. I think like the Lakers finally figured out what pieces they need around LeBron and
Oh
AD.
yeah, you could see I can see the Lakers. I can see Golden State. If Golden State gets it together on the road, Golden State. I can see the Clippers. If Paul George comes back, I can see the Clippers. I could definitely see the Suns
I
with
mean,
Durant.
to me, the East is simply a battle between Milwaukee and Boston, in my opinion.
Yeah,
It's going to be one of those two teams.
I don't think
I-
Philly is there yet, but I agree with
Yeah,
you.
no. I mean, if an injury happens to Boston, I can see Philly upsetting Boston if like a crucial injury happens. But again, Boston needs.
It's just they have so
I
much
mean,
depth, Boston.
Philly
That's
needs
the
to
thing.
be healthy themselves because the problem Philly has is they get to the playoffs and Joel Embiid's playing hurt.
Yeah,
So
think-
like they need to be healthy. I feel like
Philly's the third seed, right? So they face a 6 team.
Yeah.
Who's the 6 seed in the East?
the Nets. They'll beat the
Here's
Nets.
the thing: they'll beat the Nets. Like if the Nets still had Durant and Kyrie, I can see the Nets upsetting Philly.
See, here's the thing. The thing is they always get the third or fourth seed, Boston.
Yeah.
And they usually have a pretty good first round matchup. They always do very well in the first round. But it's the second round where they have the tough matchup.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like they lost in 7 games to Kawhi Leonard on a game-winning shot.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Look, I feel like I'm gonna be honest. I feel like that year they could have won the East.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, they could have won the championship because that was the year KD was hurt and then Clay got hurt.
I think Philadelphia, Toronto, and Milwaukee, maybe Boston to a certain extent, probably could have won the East that year.
Well, that was the year Kyrie had a fallout with Boston, so
He has to follow everybody.
Yeah. But yeah, no. Honestly, to me, I feel like this year the champion's either going to be the Bucks or the Celtics, in my opinion. I know I'm going ahead of myself, but it's like I'm looking at the West and like there's really not a team in the West that screams championship.
You could. There's not one unanimous team where everybody, yeah, this is the team that's gonna be the champion. You could pick. You could pick You could pick 5 teams in the West where, you could see them in the finals.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. To me, the toughest finals matchup either team could face would be Golden State, just because they have that experience. But outside, if they don't make the finals, it's most likely going to be an Eastern Conference team that wins it this year.
Golden State, they're right now 6, right?
Yeah.
I think they're 6 in the West. And Sacramento's 3rd, if I'm correct, right? They have to win a game on the road against Sacramento. I know Sacramento's young and inexperienced, but if Sacramento gets that confidence, gets especially 2 wins at home, it could boost up the confidence playing Golden State on the road. Golden State needs, and Golden State is a veteran team. They've been in finals. They've been in 6 finals. They won 4 of them, right? They know they need to win on the road. At least one of those games against Sacramento.
The problem is this year's Golden State team is terrible on the road.
Yeah.
So that's the concern.
And if they go to Game 7 against Sacramento, they don't get to home court.
Yeah, and again, this year, like the East is a lot, in my opinion, is way better than the West this year. I mean, there were 4 teams in the East this year that won 50+ games.
Yeah.
Only 2 teams in the West that did that.
And Denver hasn't been playing that well. I like to me, Denver feels like, I'll say this, I love my Toronto Raptors, even though there's times where they have won the East, in Cleveland, where I still have LeBron, I feel like Denver is the Toronto Raptors of the West. In that sense.
Yeah, they are. And honestly, I don't think Jokic should win the MVP.
Oh, we're gonna discuss that. I kind of agree with you.
I really don't listen. He's a great player, but it's you're gonna award this man a third straight MVP when he has not really proven himself to
in the playoffs.
Yeah, like they've only been to the Eastern Conference Finals the bubble year. I don't like to use the bubble thing because I don't because I don't want to take anything away from the teams that did well in the bubble. Like
some teams just didn't care.
Yeah, some teams didn't just care. I mean, the Lakers played their hearts out to get there. The Heat played their hearts out, so I'm not going to take anything away from those teams because again, that adds to the resume of LeBron, AD, Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
So like
they take every game seriously.
I don't want to take anything away from those guys. So I don't like using the bubble excuse like Skip Bayless does. But again, that was the only time Denver.
Oh, because it's hate for LeBron.
Like Denver made it to a conference finals. And I'm not going to take anything away from those Nugget teams because they won. They basically won coming back 3-1 in the first and second round. That's tough to do. And it was against great players. It was against Donovan Mitchell in the first round. And in the second round, it was Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. That's not an easy thing to do.
No,
but after that, they haven't really done anything.
It's just that none of the conferences, they got Durant on Phoenix, right? Just be honest, the rest is stacked with star power all around. Like you could, East has a little bit of star power, like Giannis, Embiid, maybe Harden, Donovan Mitchell, but who else? Like you can't think of anybody else. In the West, there's so much damn star power. That's why I feel like all the teams are so close in the standings. There's no some dominant teams because they all have at least one team has like at least a superstar that's keeping them all close, right?
Well, I think the thing is, no team was consistently good this year.
Outside
of Denver, because
Denver.
A lot of these Western teams, they had some pretty significant losing streaks. Like the only one that was a surprise in a good way was the Sacramento Kings.
They're you know what? It's a great story. Because that team, that franchise, has not been in the playoffs since the Stojakovic years, the Weber years, almost 2 decades. Those are great teams to battle the Lakers. That was a great rivalry they had, and I hope that gets rejuvenated, man. Sacramento and LA, I hope it gets rejuvenated because that was great. That was entertaining basketball. That Sacramento teams, I'll say this. The Sacramento teams in that era were more entertaining than the Lakers. Even though the Lakers won the titles. Yeah.
Those were interesting teams.
Yeah. And Mike Brown there's no question about it. He's coach of the year, right?
Oh yeah, he's gonna get coach of the year for sure.
There's no question. I'll be surprisingly shocked if he doesn't win coach of the year. I'll be like, who the hell decided not to give this guy coach of the year? Like seriously. They got a good young team. Well, I mean, Sabonis and Fox, great.
Oh, I will say this: while the West does have more stars, I feel like the East has the better overall teams put together.
Because
that's the thing. That's what people need
to realize.
Because
some of the Western teams have like 2 or 3 stars where you can't put a team together, right? Because you have so much money invested in these players.
They got like 2 or 3 stars, but they don't have good role players.
Yeah,
or like all-star caliber players.
Because they can't afford them, right? With the money, right?
Let's look at the Knicks. The Knicks are the 5th seed in the East. They were a good team because they put together a solid team.
They have depth.
Julius Randle, Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle. He's just an all-star. He's not a superstar, but
Jalen Brunson.
You put
basically
Brunson,
borderline all-star this year.
I know. RJ Barrett. Like you have like players surrounding these guys that
And
are pretty good players.
Don't forget, Quickly is becoming something slowly.
Yeah, and also they were able to get Josh Hart in a pretty good
Yeah.
trade.
Josh
So
Hart's a good
like
addition.
you got to put together, a team. Like that's why the Bucks were the best team this year because while Giannis is a phenomenal player, they put together a really good team around him. Brook
Yeah.
Lopez, Drew Holiday, Middleton when he's healthy.
That's what the Raptors did in 2019 with Kawhi Leonard, basically.
And that's what they did with Cleveland this year. That's why they won 51 games. Like Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, Jared Allen.
The reason why the Raptors won the title, yes, you could say Durant got hurt and Klay Thompson got hurt. But one of the reasons why the Raptors won the title is the great defense, obviously, but the depth. Something they had over Golden State.
Like that was the problem, I feel like, with the Brooklyn Nets when they had KD and Kyrie. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have these two superstars, but outside of that, what role players did you have that made a difference?
Joe Harris wasn't that good. I mean, Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons would have helped a lot if he could capture that formula he had in Philadelphia before he had a crisis of confidence. Like if Ben Simmons could have been. They thought Ben Simmons was that guy, right? To be that third guy. That's what they're hoping, right? That was what they're hoping. When they got him to Harden, they were hoping he was that third guy. I mean, they wanted Harden to be that third guy, right? But Harden didn't like it there. And,
and the 76ers, like, they constructed that team pretty well. Even though I don't think they're going to get past the second round, they still a very good team.
They built around Embiid very well.
Like, James Harden sacrificed to basically make it Joel Embiid's show.
Yeah. Yes.
Because he recognizes that he's no longer the best player.
That's something that I give Harden credit for, recognizing that, because I would have thought like Harden's not the type of guy. Like Harden needs to be the center of attention, the guy with, the ball in his hand 24/7 to be the guy that just scores every basket. But I'll give him credit for realizing that, for sacrificing that for the better of the team, for Embiid to be this guy, to be the guy to lead the Sixers. But you're right. The depth Philadelphia has got Tyrone Maxey become like a 20-point scorer. Tobias Harris is no slouch as an offensive player. Then you got like PJ Tucker solid defensively. They got players like can they beat Milwaukee and Boston? Perhaps. I think they make it hard for them.
I mean, if Milwaukee or Boston's missing a key piece and Philly's healthy, like Philly could upset.
I think Philly can make it hard for them, right? I mean, it's not gonna be like I don't think like Milwaukee or Boston would sweep them or win. I could see those series go like 6 games, or maybe 7. Like I could see them making it hard for them. It's because of Embiid. If he plays at the MVP caliber he is, because I think he'll win MVP, I could definitely see make it hard for those teams, right? The thing about Milwaukee is they gotta get Middleton to step up, right? They become the guy they all know he could be. Boston has 2 superstars in Brown and Tatum, but but Boston has a lot of good role players.
Oh, they got some. They got the best step, in my opinion, in the league.
Yeah, definitely. And that's why they're my pick to make the finals. I can see Boston and Milwaukee do it, but my pick is Boston and Phoenix. I think if Durant could become the player, like even though he comes back from injury, he's still pretty. He's Durant. Like you'll see him like struggle from injuries. Like you'll see him, when he comes back from injury, it's like there's no rest. He automatically puts up like 25 to 30 points when he comes back from injury. There's no rest with him. It's amazing. It's amazing. And I think with Durant and Booker, those 2 guys, no, don't forget Aiden and Paul. Obviously, what they might lack is depth. But let's be honest, in the playoffs, you really only play about 7, 8 players. You don't play 10 or 12 man rotation. You only play. You shorten the bench, right? So So I'm not worried about depth. Is not as important in the playoffs as in the season.
Yeah, no, like, yeah, I agree.
I agree with you. I mean, there's a lot of teams in the West I can see in the finals. I just don't think. I don't think. I just don't. Like it's hard to pick one. I mean, I picked Phoenix, but like that was not hard for me to decide. And I'm gonna do it. If you join me for a preview prediction show Friday, we're gonna do more of this. We're gonna go and we're gonna do a playoff prediction. So we're gonna go more detail about who we see in the playoffs and who's gonna win the championship. But yeah, it's really hard. Let's go to MVP debate. It's not really a debate because I agree with you. I think the three finalists are typical, the Greek Freak, Jokic, and Embiid. Now with Jokic, I wouldn't be surprised if he wins it, but to me, you gotta show me something in the playoffs. And I know MVP is a season award, right? A season award, right? Obviously. But I don't feel like he puts up MVP numbers, okay? Like all the really. They're great the triple double numbers, but I don't feel like I mean, I read somewhere today. You can't there's only certain players that win MVP back to back to back, right? But all those players have done who are Bird and MJ.
Yeah, like they won championships. They champions.
Thank you. That's my point, right? I forgot. I saw Twitter. I forgot who said it. It was a former NBA player. You can't put Jokic as one of the greatest of all times based on winning back to back to back MVPs. Okay, you can put him greatest of all time based on, title championships. Now you can say that about Embiid and you can say the same thing about Embiid if he wins back to back to back, right? Or if he ends up happening, right? Giannis, you can't say that because Giannis has won a title. If Giannis wants multiple MVPs, you can't say that, right? Because he's won a title. So I agree. I think Embiid should win it, and I think without Jokic, go ahead.
I think it should either be Embiid or Tatum. One of those two.
Tatum should be in there. Like
here's the thing. Tatum scored the most points out of any Boston Celtic player for the regular season. He played a lot of games. He should be considered.
Yeah, I feel people are forgetting Tatum. I had him as one of my early MVP favorites back in the early season. I think what the reason why people don't put Tatum up there, I think that he gets hurt by Jaylen Brown being there. I think that's one of the reasons. I mean, I know Giannis has Chris Middleton, but Chris Middleton is not Jaylen Brown. I think Jaylen Brown is better than Middleton personally. But to me, Embiid is just Embiid could do it all, man. I mean, he's not a passer that Jokic, but I think he's a better defender, if I'm correct.
Yeah, he's definitely better. Well, I think Embiid leads his team in block shots.
Yeah, he's a better defender. He has better range. He could go inside. He could dribble. I mean, he's not the passer Jokic is, which is great for a big man.
First of all, Jokic don't even lead his team in blocks. It's Aaron Gordon, and Aaron Gordon doesn't even have as many blocks as Embiid. Nowhere near.
To me, Jokic looks slow.
The problem is just, again, Embiid's health. Because he tends to miss quite a few games, but it's like he scored more points. I think he averaged more rebounds. He had more. He had way more blocks.
I think it's more skilled than Jokic. I think Jokic.
Actually, no. Wait.
Jokic
did have more rebounds. I just checked.
Okay. Yeah, I think he averaged more rebounds than Jokic. I think Jokic averaged like 10 or 11. I'm not sure. I'll check the stats.
Yeah, no, he had 11. Embiid had 10.
So bonus led the league in rebounds. You're right. So okay, Jokic has averaged more rebounds, averaged a rebound more than Embiid. That's yeah. But he averaged like 33 points. Jokic averaged 24 points. I mean, look, he averaged triple digit numbers, double triple numbers, whatever, triple double numbers. See, Denver, like to me, 53 and 29 is not all that impressive. I remember back in the day, teams getting 60 wins was impressive. But teams in the West would get 60 wins constantly. You remember those days?
Yep.
Look at. You're right. Look at the East. You have 4 teams over 50: Milwaukee, Boston, Philly, and Cleveland. And in the West, only 2. It's really. Yeah, I agree. I think Embiid should win MVP.
And if it's not him, I think it should be Tatum.
Yeah. It should be.
They
from the East.
averaged more points. I think they contributed more, and the teams did better.
I think it won't be Tatum because
I know it's probably not going to be Tatum either.
Because I think
I feel like he probably deserves it more.
I think the reason why is because they probably feel like Boston could win a bunch of games without Tatum in the lineup. But I feel that with Denver without Jokic, they can't. I know Jamal Murray is good, Michael Porter is good, but they don't have the depth and another star like Jaylen Brown. So I feel like that the people are going to vote, the writers are going to vote, be like, yeah, Tatum should be in the MVP race, but we're not going to give it to him because Boston, without Tatum, we know Boston could still probably win because of their depth, because of their other players, and because of Jaylen Brown. With Denver, I think without Jokic, I don't think they're I don't know if they're a playoff team, or it might be a borderline playoff team. Because like MVPs can make a team good, right? So right, sometimes MVPs should be awarded to teams that don't have depth. So yeah, I think that would hurt Tatum in that way. But I think why Giannis might end up becoming MVP because I feel Milwaukee, if didn't have Giannis, I think Milwaukee is vulnerable.
I would agree, but the thing is like Giannis didn't play as many games as those guys did.
Yeah, that's true.
And I feel like, especially with them starting to like really enforcing this whole like minimum games thing.
And let's be honest, if Embiid wasn't available, can you rely on Harden and Maxey to carry you? Like
maybe a few years ago you could have relied on Harden, but
yeah. Now you probably can't.
I mean, he's still a very good player, but he's not the transformative star that he once was.
No. And the rules, some of the rules, the fouling rules changed because of him. Right? Because they don't call him as fouls. They changed the rules because of Harden. But yeah, and he wasn't always out. He was always out of shape at one point. Yeah. He's older.
And also he fits so much better, I feel like, with having D'Antoni as his coach than with Doc Rivers.
Yeah, Doc Rivers only could coach a team when he had a bunch of superstars on it. When he has 3 stars on it.
Honestly, I feel like
he's an average coach.
I wouldn't be surprised if Doc Rivers is like go after the season.
Who do you think is on the hot seat?
I think he's on the hot seat.
Okay, I think the Raptors coach is on the hot seat. And
I also think this might be an unpopular opinion. I think Denver's coach is on the hot seat because they're the number 1 seed. Mike Malone, yeah.
Mike Malone, such a good coach. To me, Doc Rivers, for sure. Doc Rivers, for sure. Nick Nurse at the Raptors.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say he's on the hot seat, but Eric Spoelstra, maybe. because I felt that team should have done better than they really have.
Yeah,
Miami,
that is true. But again, I think Pat Riley, because Eric Spoelstra is like
you
learn
take the
from
Greg
him.
Popovich of the East right now.
Yeah. Not this season, but I think next season Monty Williams, I think will start being on the hot
Phoenix?
seat, because
Yeah.
next season you're gonna have Kevin Durant for a full season, hopefully.
Mhm.
So I think next season Monty Williams will be on the hot seat.
I'll say this: Jason Kidd. I think Jason Kidd should be let go. I don't think he should
Well,
be a coach of Dallas. He's not a good coach. He never was.
the thing is that Dallas has so many things.
Oh, we
that
should
they
talk
need.
about that. We should talk about that.
Yeah. Real quick though, because I can't stay on much.
Yeah,
longer.
we're gonna end it after we talk about Dallas. Okay.
Yeah, no, that was just a whole
If there's-
a shit show.
They get investigated, right, for tanking.
Oh my goodness, it's a whole mess. Now Luka did come out and say that he's happy in Dallas, and look, I think I think he is happy playing in Dallas, but he clearly also wants the team to improve.
Of course, did they think they did improve with a certain troublemaker head case?
The thing is like, first of all, they let Jalen Brunson go when he had really good chemistry with Luka and was a very good fit with Luka.
You know what? They should have traded for Durant instead.
But again, this is the problem of Mark Cuban. He lets valuable players go. You want to know why Dallas, after they won the championship, became a first round exit to not making the playoffs? They let Tyson Chandler go to New York.
That's a good point, because they let Jalen Brunson go.
Remember, like that team got so much better when they got Tyson Chandler for that one season. And
when
then
they defeated the Heat, yes.
Yeah, because he was so key to their defense.
Yes.
And then they let him go.
Yes.
And again, the best that they were afterwards was when Tyson Chandler rejoined them for the 2014-2015 season.
Mm-hmm.
They had their best record after they won the championship with Dirk when they got Tyson Chandler back. And then they let him go. Then they let him go again.
They got the wrong guy from Brooklyn. They should have gone after Durant. Oh, I thought the team got better. Yeah, you got Kyrie Irving. You should have got better.
No, Durant, I think, would have been a better fit with Luka, because he can catch and shoot.
Yes.
He doesn't need the ball in his. He doesn't need to be a ball handler.
I think Durant would be better fit than Kyrie anywhere, honestly. I mean, Kevin Durant could be a problem at times, but at least he wins.
Oh, whenever he's played for Phoenix, they've won.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Like KD, I think KD will gel well with Chris Paul and Booker.
Yeah, this might be Chris Paul's last chance. I don't know. I don't know if he's indicating retirement, but you can clearly see he's on a decline.
But no, Kyrie, he's just a head case wherever he goes. But here's the thing. Kyrie wasn't even the main problem in Dallas.
No.
Because a lot of people said Kyrie was actually a very good teammate in Dallas. He scored a lot of points. He got along with everyone, from what it sounds like. So for once, Kyrie wasn't the problem. I think the problem was that what you sacrificed to get Kyrie.
The depth.
You took away depth. And the thing is that they weren't a good defensive team before Kyrie. They got even worse. After.
And we can't win the playoffs with bad defense. In any sport.
I know Kristaps Porzingis isn't a game changer, but he's actually played better since he left Dallas.
He's played really well in Washington.
Yeah, even though that team's not good, he's played a lot better. And remember, he's playing with Bradley Beal.
They tanked for a lottery pick. What did they really think they have a chance to get the guy? Did really think they have a chance to get in the first overall pick? No, they don't. They're not going to get him. It's either going to be Charlotte or Detroit who's going to get the guy.
I think the thing is that Luka, he's a great player, but he's not up there with LeBron. He's people keep acting like he's the next LeBron. He's not.
No.
Listen, remember, LeBron had success with worse teammates than what Luka's played with.
He brought an okay Cleveland team to the finals.
And I get it, that was in a weak East, but you also defeated a Detroit Pistons team that was still a championship contender.
Yeah. I remember people thought Trae Young was better than Luka in that draft class. Lada surely thought so.
I mean, here's the thing. Luka's a great player.
Yeah.
But you got to put better pieces around him.
Kyrie was not the guy. They let Brunson go. I think that would have hurt their chemistry, honestly. And I personally think they should let Jason Kidd go. I don't think Jason Kidd was ever a good coach. And he coached Milwaukee, right?
Yeah. But again, they were a first-round exit under him. When Mike Budenholzer came, they became a championship contender.
Jason Kidd was never a good coach. Like, seriously.
Like, here's the thing. People give Budenholzer crap, but here's the thing. Budenholzer took an Atlanta Hawks team with like just all-star players like Al Horford and
no superstar.
I forget the other guys.
Al Horford, Jeff Teague,
Millsap.
Yeah.
Millsap. That was the name I was trying to remember. And
so
they
the
won
Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, and they won 60 games.
They took them to the Eastern Conference Finals. Of course, they couldn't beat the Heat, but was it the Heat?
I mean,
where's the Cavs then? I don't know. The Heat, I think. But yeah, like Jason Kidd, I think they should let Jason Kidd go. I think they need a better coach. I never thought Jason Kidd was a good coach.
The thing is that they took advantage of they took advantage of a Phoenix Suns team that was clearly not all there.
I don't care if Jason Kidd helped Dallas win a title, right? He helped Dallas win the second title, right? When he beat LeBron in the Mavs and the Heat, right? The first time, right? I don't care if Jason Kidd helped them win, but seriously, they should let him go. Get a better coach. Jason Kidd is not a good coach. Get a better coach.
Yeah.
Hell, if Nick Nurse gets let's go, get Nick Nurse. If a Duca is out there, get a Duca. Dwayne Casey is a better coach than Jason Kidd. Dwayne Casey had more success with a less talented team, with no superstar on the Raptors, than Dallas has with Luka. There's better coaches than Kidd. Stop. Jason Kidd is not a freaking good coach, man. Not a good coach. What do you think? You think they should let him go? What do you think?
I mean, if they let him go, it's not the end of the world. You can probably find someone better.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can probably find someone better. Well, thank you for coming on. We're going to end it here. Sports Mayhem 2. Thank you for everybody to watch and liked. I don't know what the third episode is going to be, but Friday we're going to do predictions and preview show for the NBA Finals. Not NBA Finals, NBA playoffs. Once every playoff game is set because of the 7th, 8th seed. Once we get that filled in, whoever becomes the 7th, 8th seed in the East and the rest, we'll do the stream on Friday. We'll talk about who we think is in the finals. We kind of said that who we see in the finals, but maybe we'll do a playoff bracket and go through and see who will go to the next round, the second round, third round is in the finals. Maybe we'll do that. But yes, that's Friday, guys. Like, share, subscribe, comment below. Enjoy the playing rounds, guys. Take care, guys.
Later.